questions? Galatians chapter 4, let's go to the Lord in prayer. Galatians chapter 4, I'll let you get there, then we'll pray. My sermon is entitled, O Man Greatly Beloved. O Man Greatly Beloved. And I actually have two titles for this. O Man Greatly Beloved. And my second title is Faith Over Fear. Faith Over Fear. And I would like to, let's read this and then we'll pray. Galatians chapter 4 and verse number 9. But now after that ye have known God. Who in here knows God? Okay. That's a great thing, isn't it? Can I see a hand, show of hands? Who in here knows God? He's your Savior. Okay? You know God. That's important, right? You know what I find to be even more of a blessing? It's not that we know God. It's that He knows us. This week was marred with tragedy. A man who stood up for what he believed was assassinated. And everybody in here felt it. And you're still feeling it. There were some in here that listened to him all the time. Some called me, some cried. I didn't listen to him too much. I didn't know him. I just wasn't privy to a lot that he talked about. I listened to a lot of others, but I heard him once, and he was good. But after hearing him over and over again now, beginning to realize it was a real tragedy. And he was a great saint of God. And his wife is a great saint of God. And she has spoken out very vocally about him being saved and their Christianity and how they love God and how we need to continue to fight on. You know, through this, it really puts a dent in our faith because we get afraid. Now, you know, we street preach. And we're out there. We've been out there for over 35 years. And we're targets. And I think what could happen to him could happen to anybody who would stand on a corner and preach. Anybody who would stand up for the gospel. We have seen churches under fire, haven't we? We have to worry about worship and somebody coming in here and hurting us. Should we cower? Should we give up? What should we do? Our voice needs to be heard. The Lord said we'd be persecuted. In America, we haven't felt much of that, but it's beginning to happen. This is what they say, the rubber meets the road. What do you do when tribulation comes? What do you do when trials come? What do you do when the world stands against you? What do you do when you feel like you're the only one? You're in the small or minority, or in the minority now. Do we just say, I'm the only one, as Elijah did? I'm alone with none to help. God has his reserves. And I want to tell you today, every person in this room who knows Christ as their Savior, you are known of God and you are beloved of God. He loves you. He died for you. He gave his life for you to make you who you are today. And he will stand by you. And you say, well, Charlie Kirk died. Charlie Kirk is with the Lord Jesus Christ. So in the end, who won? He's where we all want to be, isn't he? And he's where we all know that one day we will be. He knew the danger. And he even mentioned to his wife and set up different policies and everything to take care of her because he knew the danger. But he kept on going. And today I want your faith not to shrink through this. All week long I thought about this. And all week long, I thought, what will I say to the congregation? A few weeks back, the Lord gave me a message. I was going to preach it on Wednesday night. But that morning I got up, the Lord changed it completely because a flock of geese walked across the road in front of me. And my shower head fell off while I was taking a shower. And the banana I was eating fell off and landed on the floor of my car and rolled around in the gravel. And it looked like it was covered with peanuts. How can you eat a gravel-filled banana? And I preached to you on Wednesday. I realized I'm not in control of anything. When that traffic stopped, every car stopped to watch those geese waddle across. And the girl next to me, I looked over and she started laughing. She goes, listen, folks, God is in control and God is in charge and he knows who you are and he watches every step you make and he's there with you every step in life, every step. You say, how about when I sin and I get away from God? He's probably closer to you then than you even know. We're greatly beloved. We're known of God, verse 9. But now after that ye have known God, or rather are known of God. And I want to stop right there. We're known of God. We are beloved. You know, there are a couple people in the Bible that actually were called beloved. One being, of course, John. John was beloved. He was known as the beloved. Okay? Of all the disciples, he was beloved. But do you think for a second at all that Peter wasn't beloved? Do you think that Philip wasn't beloved? Do you think that Andrew wasn't beloved? Weren't they all loved? Wasn't even Judas loved? They were loved. Christ elected them. They were his right-hand men. He picked them. Do you think that Mary Magdalene was beloved? Are you beloved? But yet I see so many Christians get down and say, I feel that God's angry with me. I feel that God has turned his back on me. Why do I feel this way, Pastor? Why do I feel I do so much contrary to the things of the Lord? I don't always walk in the truth. I don't always do what's right, and therefore God's against me. He's not against you. Don't let the devil talk you into that. The devil's ploy to think, oh, you're not right with God. Oh, you're not a good Christian. Oh, look what you did. The devil will make you feel bad. And this results in mental anguish. Understand this. No matter what happens in our life, the Lord is still our Father. And he loves us unconditionally. Now, and I like to clarify, that does not give us a license to go out and sin. And people that think, well, God will forgive me, I'll just do this anyway because I enjoy my sin. That's a bad attitude. We should live holy because he's holy. And he told us to live holy and to be holy. There was another man in the Bible who was beloved. And his name was Daniel. All of heaven knew it. This man was special. And all of heaven knows today that we are Christians. And all of heaven knows that the Lord loves each and every one of us. That means the angel Gabriel knows that. The angel Michael, Archangel Michael knows that. That means even the demons know it, don't they? And Satan himself knows. He knows it too. He knows you're a child of God. When you got saved, you changed camps. Let's go to the book of Daniel. Book of Daniel. Daniel. Let's go to Daniel chapter 9. I'll just look at a couple verses here real quick. Daniel chapter 9. Daniel chapter 9. Actually, let's go to Daniel 10. Daniel 10. Let's go to Daniel 10 instead. Daniel chapter 10. And let's look in verse number 18. Verse number 18. Then there came again and touched me one like the appearance of a man, and he strengthened me and said, O man, greatly beloved, fear not. And how important are those words? Are you beloved of God? In this world we live, we need to hear God tell us, oh man. If you're a woman, oh person, oh woman, oh man, greatly beloved, fear not. How many times did Christ say, fear not? You know, of all the phrases in the Bible, I believe that is the most mentioned of all phrases in the whole Bible. Fear not. How many times does God say, fear not? We are beloved. Fear not. Peace be unto thee. And today, you might be really struggling with what happened, and it might be hard for you to think. And we were talking about this on the corner yesterday. We're talking about just the vulnerability of Christians. You put yourself out in the open. You testify Christ to a lost and dying world. You never know how they're going to react to you. Fear not. Peace be unto you. Be strong. Yea, be strong. And when he had spoken unto me, I was strengthened and said, let my Lord speak, for thou hast strengthened me. The devil, unsaved man, the world, they'll try to intimidate you. Who in here has felt the intimidation from the world? You want to speak up, but you're afraid. At work, maybe an opportunity comes, and you think, oh, if I speak up, it could cost me my job. I'm afraid. You get out in public. The Lord lays it on your heart to give somebody a gospel tract or to open up. And the first thing that comes in your mind, I'm afraid. You say, Pastor, do you feel that way? I'm human. I'm human. Every time you got to fight those fears. You got to fight those fears. A lot of times the devil keeps our mouth shut because we just are afraid to open it. You know, I like baseball and I like the Pirates. Unfortunately, we don't have a winner. Maybe one day we will. I think the chances of hell turning cold probably would be, you know. But there's a pitcher they have, and he's a great pitcher. Some are saying he may be or become the greatest pitcher that's ever pitched. And his name is Paul Skeens. He has a baseball glove. You say, well, every baseball player has a glove. Yeah, it's black and it's got yellow stitching. I pay attention to those things. And my wife's listening and she's like, how come you don't pay attention to things in the house? Like, if she had baseball theme all over the house, I might pay a little bit more attention. And when he pitches, he holds the ball in his glove. Anybody know what I'm going to say? Who's paid attention to his glove? Anybody? He's got a verse right on the glove. He got a verse. It's out of First John. I'm sorry, it's out of Second Timothy. Second Timothy. And it's in chapter 1 and it's verse number 7. Now, why would he put that on there? He's a great pitcher. What could he possibly be afraid of? He's letting the world know something through it. I don't know what it is, and I don't know his background. I don't know if he's a Christian. I don't know that. I haven't studied anything about his background. Does anybody know if he's saved? I don't know. But he's got that verse there. I know the verse. And I want to give it today because it's a great verse for all of us. And I know this verse is actually some of your life verses. And some verses that you actually look at, and I preached this, and many of you have come up afterwards and said, Pastor, that message was what I needed. There's something God gives us, and there's something that God doesn't give us. That sound weird? God gives us many things, but there's something I know for sure God does not give us. And I'm going to go to 2 Timothy chapter 1. 2 Timothy chapter 1. Second Timothy chapter 1 and verse number 6. There are many people who never do what they really want to do in life because they're afraid. Fear cripples people. Fear will stop someone from answering the call to God. Think about the Bible. How many people were called of God in the Bible? Let's take Moses. Was he great? Let's take him. Was he great? If he didn't answer the call of God, would we have all that was written about him? Would he have stood at the Red Sea and with his staff, would he have stood there and would he have seen the waters part? If he would have given in to his fears. He didn't want to answer the call of God. God said to him, come now, therefore, and I will send thee to Pharaoh, that thou mayest deliver my people Israel. I'm going to send you. And immediately what happened? He clammed up, didn't he? Just like we do when God tells us to do something. Listen, being a preacher and answering the call hasn't always been easy. And I knew getting into this, it was going to be a fight. And I knew there were going to be many things and many opportunities that would present itself that fear would grip me and I would have a hard time with. Does that mean I should have said no? Is God calling you to do something? And are you sitting there resistant? I can't. Oh, God, I can't. That's too much. That was Moses. I can't. Why not, Moses? Because I'm not eloquent. I can't talk. I cannot go before Pharaoh. And the Lord said to him, what? Who made your mouth? Who gave you the skill and talent you have? Let's go back to Charlie Kirk. Was he gifted? Very much so. The way he answered people and how quickly he could come out with an answer. I'd say, I could never do that. But he could. Hey, Charlie, go do it. You know what he did? He did it. He got a bullet in the throat. Knowing the danger, he did it. I guarantee if God put him back here and he knew it was going to happen, he would do it again. And do you think for a moment when Moses got on the other side, you think he would have looked back and said, I'm so sorry I answered the call of God? What did he witness? How many Christians won't answer the call of God and will never see the great things that God can do for you? Won't see it because of fear. I want to tell you right now, that's one thing that God did not give you. And this verse is on Paul Skeen's glove. Whether he struggles with things, I don't know. But when somebody puts this verse on their glove, or somebody says, this is my life verse, they must have a problem with fear. Fear will cripple you. The fear of man bringeth a snare. It's a trap. First, 2 Timothy 1, verse 6. For God hath not given us. You say, you're right, Pastor. God didn't give us something. What didn't he give us? For God hath not given us the spirit of fear. But what did he give us instead? But of power and of love and of a sound mind. Has the devil ever tried to tell you you're nuts? Has the devil ever whispered in your ear and said, you're a little loco? You're crazy. Wife and I have this conversation all the time. And, and I saw a magazine and it had a picture of a man and it has brain exposed. It was a artist drawing. And it said underneath, are we all nuts? And you think about it, you say, I don't know. I think all of us are a little crazy. God has given us a sound mind. God has given us power. How many Christians do not exercise the power? Instead, they exercise the thing God didn't give them, and that's the spirit of fear. Now, I'm going to go to a passage in the scripture, and I'm going to talk about the beloved of God and why Daniel was so beloved. Did he just inherit this title? Or did he do things that caused him to be beloved? Have you answered the call of God in your life? Are you doing today what God wants you to do? And I would say today, if you aren't, get started doing it. You say, but it's dangerous, Pastor. Jim Elliott. They're comparing Charlie Kirk to Jim Elliott. Who knows who Jim Elliott is? Who knows Cokie? Who knows who Jim Elliott is? Cokie forgot his hearing aids. He's trying to read my lips. Jim Elliott. He was a missionary to South America. He was a missionary to the indigenous people of South America who were very, very violent. And when Jim Elliott landed his plane there, Jim Elliott got off the plane and Jim Elliott was killed by the natives. And you say, well, what was that? Who knows the rest of the story? Jim Elliott's wife and the wives of the others that were killed said, we can't let this be in vain. We're going back. And this is what the widow of Charlie Kirk is saying right now. His life should not be in vain. But the rest of us need to stand up. The rest of us, and on the corner yesterday, I could tell people were touched by it. There were windows coming down and people saying to us, don't quit. That doesn't happen. Don't quit. We appreciate what you're doing. Don't quit. The widow of Jim Elliott and the widows of the others got on a plane and went down to these people, not knowing if they too would be killed. Do you know what God did? God used these ladies to convert that whole tribe to Christ. They wouldn't quit. Faith over fear. Daniel chapter 6. Daniel chapter 6. Daniel chapter 6, verse 1. It pleased Darius, to set over the kingdom 120 princes, which should be over the whole kingdom, and over these 3 presidents, of whom Daniel was first, that the princes might give accounts unto them, and the king should have no damage. Then this Daniel was preferred above the presidents and princes, because an excellent spirit was in him, and the king thought to set him over the whole realm. Then the presidents and princes sought to find occasion against Daniel concerning the kingdom, but they could find none occasion nor fault. For as much as he was faithful, neither was there any error or fault found in him. Then said these men, we shall not find any occasion against this Daniel, except we find it against him concerning the law of his God. Did they know what kind of man he was? They said, we're not going to find any fault with this guy. The only way we're going to get him is if we get him concerning his God. Then these 3 presidents and princes assembled together to the king and said thus unto him, King Darius, live forever. All the presidents of the kingdom, the governors and the princes, the counselors and the captains have consulted together. Did they all? Did they all consult together? Was Daniel a president? Wasn't he above them all? Did they ask his opinion? Oh no, we've got together all of us. Lie. He didn't ask Daniel his opinion. All the presidents of the kingdom, the governors and the princes, the counselors and the captains have consulted together to establish a royal statute and to make a firm decree that whosoever shall ask a petition of any god or man for 30 days, save of thee, O king, he shall be cast into the den of lions. Now, O king, establish the decree and sign the writing, that if it be that it be not changed, according to the law of the Medes and Persians, which altereth not. Wherefore King Darius signed the writing and the decree. Now, when Daniel knew that the writing was signed, he gave up. Now, when Daniel knew that the writing was signed, he went and buried himself in the ground. Now, when Daniel knew that the writing was signed, he went on vacation. That's not what it says, does it? He knew the writing was signed. He knew it was aimed to. Now, when Daniel knew that the writing was signed, he went into his house, and his windows being open in the chamber toward Jerusalem, he kneeled upon his knees 3 times a day and prayed and gave thanks before his God as he did aforetime. Did he change anything? They knew this guy, the only way we're going to get him, we got to get him out. Have to get rid of him. He is a problem. But he's done nothing wrong. I know how we can get him. 3 times a day he prays, and he won't quit. And this guy's tenacious. Let's get a writing signed. And when he knew the writing was signed, he opened up his windows, and he prayed towards Jerusalem as he always had, and he got down on his knees, and he prayed, knowing what was going to happen, didn't he? He knew, I'm going to get cast into that lion's den. You know what he had? He had faith over fear. Did he know God would come through? Did he? Let's keep reading. And it says in verse 11, then these men assembled and found Daniel praying and making supplication before his God. Then they came near and spake before the king concerning the king's decree. Hast thou not signed a decree that every man that shall ask a petition of any god or man within 30 days, save of thee, O king, shall be cast into the den of lions? The king answered and said, the thing is true, according to the law of the Medes and Persians, which altereth not. Was the king prepared for what happened next? Then answered they and said before the king, that Daniel, which is of the children of the captivity of Judah, regardeth not thee, O king, nor the decree that thou hast signed, but maketh his petition 3 times a day. Then the king, when he heard these words, was sore displeased with himself, and set his heart on Daniel to deliver him. And he labored till the going down of the sun to deliver him. Then these men assembled unto the king and said unto the king, Know, O king, I can just hear their voices. Know, O king, that the law of the Medes and Persians is that no decree nor statute which the king establisheth may be changed. You can't change this. You signed it. You put your seal of approval on it. So let it be written. So let it be done. No way out, king. And he thought within himself, what can I do to deliver him? Nothing. His hands were bound, weren't they? Then the king commanded, and they brought Daniel and cast him into the den of lions. Now the king spake and said unto Daniel, Thy God whom thou servest continually, he will deliver thee. Who had faith? The king said, You believe in that God, and you prayed to that God, and you're a pretty tenacious guy when it comes to your God. Your God, he can deliver. Easy for you to say, right? You're not going in. Now, you think the lions were hungry? Or were they well fed? And they just might not have liked human flesh. And maybe Daniel just wasn't there on their, he wasn't palatable. They threw people in the den to hungry lions. They purposely didn't feed them so that when they threw the people in there, the lions would chomp on them and eat them and crunch their bones, and very, very hungry and very ready for their next meal. Verse 18, who had a better night's sleep? Who slept better, the king or Daniel? Okay. We serve a great God, don't we? Verse 18, then the king went to his palace and passed the night fasting. Neither were instruments of music brought before him, and his sleep went from him. Then the king arose very early in the morning and went in haste unto the den of lions. And when he came to the den, he cried with a lamentable voice unto Daniel. And the king spake and said to Daniel, O Daniel, servant of the living God, is thy God whom thou servest continually able to deliver thee from the lions? With a lamentable cry, Oh, Daniel, are you down there? Is your God able, and has he delivered you from the mouth of the lions? Now, Daniel knew that the king was tricked, right? Do you think maybe Daniel just said, just for a second, let's keep him waiting? Nice kitty. That body heat coming off those lions? Daniel probably leaned back into the back of one of them. And maybe one of them was licking his hand, his arm, sleep well. Oh, the king? It's pretty early. We serve a great God. Oh, Daniel, servant of the living God, is that God whom thou servest continually able to deliver thee from the lions? Then said Daniel unto the king, O king, live forever. My God hath sent his angel and hath shut the lions' mouths, that they have not hurt me. For as much as before him innocency was found in me, and also before thee, O king, have I done no hurt. Then was the king exceeding glad for him, and commanded that they should take Daniel up out of the den. So Daniel was taken up out of the den, and no manner of hurt was found upon him. Why? Because he believed in his God. And that's the end of the chapter. No, it's not the end of the chapter. Because do you think word spread around? Hey, that Daniel who you guys delivered, the king who you tricked, they're over there having a revival. And the king and Daniel are hugging each other right now, and those lions did not eat him. Did you hear the word? Do you think their faces went pale? You don't trick a king. And when it all didn't work out the way they thought, the king, Daniel, you're spared. Your God saved you. These men tricked me. Then the king said, bring those men. And not just those men, but bring their wives and bring their little ones and throw them in. Who's on our side? God hath not given us the spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. And I'll tell you what, if that's your life verse, that is a tremendous verse. And if it's your life verse, live by that verse and know that when fear comes, it's not from God. Power is. Overcoming is. You say, Pastor, but there are things in my life. I know. There are things in my life. I've just been preaching this past couple weeks. There's been some things in my life that have been absolutely overwhelming to me. But I know through it all, no matter what life throws at you or me, and no matter what people throw at us, God is greater than them all. Then King Darius wrote unto all the people, nations, and language. I'm sorry, verse 24. And the king commanded, and they brought those men which had accused Daniel, and they cast them into the den of lions. Them, their children, and their wives, and the lions had the mastery over them, and brake all their bones in pieces, or ever they came at the bottom of the den. Then King Darius wrote unto all people, nations, and languages that dwell in all the earth, peace be multiplied unto you. I make a decree that in every dominion of my kingdom men tremble and fear before the God of Daniel, for he is the living God and steadfast forever, and his kingdom that which shall not be destroyed, and his dominion shall be even unto the end. He delivereth and rescueth, and he worketh signs and wonders in the earth and in heaven, who hath delivered Daniel from the power of the lions. So this Daniel prospered in the reign of Darius and in the reign of Cyrus the Persian. Instead, you start off with not knowing, and if you didn't know the story, not knowing if Daniel's going to die. And by the time it's done, he goes into the lions, he comes out, and what happens to him at the end? God prospers him. If we put God first, God will prosper us in what he wants us to do. There is a plan. And as I look around from here to there and all the way back, and everybody in this church who is born again, God has a plan for you. God has a purpose for you. And that purpose is not to sit around all day long and bite your nails and pick your fingers and pull your hair because you're scared to death. God hath not given us the spirit of fear. Rebuke it. I claim the blood of Christ over this. This does not belong in my life. It's not from you. The Bible is very clear on that. The fear we have is to fear God. Fear God. What's the conclusion of the whole matter? The last verse in Ecclesiastes. Let us hear the whole conclusion of the matter. Fear God. That's what life is all about. Fearing God. God first. This is the perfect message to go right into the communion. We're going to have our communion today. We're going to take the elements, all of us together. I'd like, Justin, if you could go down and get the kids, tell them to come on up. We're going to take a moment and we're going to examine ourselves. The Bible talks about that.